Hello everybody, my name is Classy Video Games. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to do a review today of Ubuntu 14.04. This is an operating system that's relatively new to me. Um, it's a Linux operating system, and my Windows computer recently crashed, so I converted over to Ubuntu, knowing that it's a relatively solid system and doesn't have a lot of it doesn't have a lot of issues. It's a pretty reliable, stable operating system. And so you can see here all the stuff in my computer. It's not really the best computer, but now that it has Ubuntu, it's running very well. It has the legal notice. It shows any like what you do with certain medias and all that sort of stuff. Anyway, I'll get into that later in the video. But yeah, first things first, you'll notice there's not a whole lot going on this desktop. Like up here, you'll see you have like a little notification bar, and then there's this bar of icons on the side. But that's it. Where are all of your icons? They're all gone. This bar over here is what's known as the dash. This is where you'll have all of your quick start icons. So you'll have like here. I'll just go from the top. Up here is your main button. It's your Unity button. That's kind of the operating system that they've gone with. Out of the out of Linux, Unity is one of the most controversial, I suppose. No, it's not the most. I suppose GNOME would be the most controversial of all, but this one's up there. I don't know. A lot of people don't like it because they think, well, why not just have all your stuff out here? Why do you have to search for it? And this is just a stupid big window, and nobody really likes it. And why do you want to? I don't know. There's people that love it, people that hate it. But I like it because, as you can see, I have nothing on here, and that's just because I didn't choose to put anything on here. But say I was looking for Firefox. You just type in Firefox, if I can spell it, and there you go, Firefox. Or if you want to just look at everything that you have, you just click Applications, and then click Installed, and then if you wish, you can go full screen and look at it. And there's all the stuff I have installed. Well, up until the more suggestions section, you'll see I have like Wine Tricks, Windows Loader, I have a couple recording softwares, I have Minecraft, I have, general, I don't know, most people have this stuff. Most of this actually comes pre-installed. So Chromium was not pre-installed, Battle for West North, and the map editor was not pre-installed. But you do get a full, or I think a semi-full Office suite. You do get some basic games. Minecraft is relatively easy to install if you know where to look for it. It does involve a line of code um, in your terminal, which I'll show you right here. Is It's not really anything special, but it's quite easy to use. I mean, you just go online and they have copy and paste options for you. But anyway, they have backup. They have Amazon, which by default would be right there. The icon would be sitting right in there in the dash, but I chose to get rid of it because I don't use Amazon that much. They do have system testing for you. They do have system monitoring. They have software and updates. You can download a Linux version of Steam quite easily through steam.com. And they do give you Thunderbird Mail, which is Firefox's mail system. They give you multiple terminals. They give you a software center, which is what I'll go into in a little bit. I mean, most operating systems have a software center anymore. They actually don't come with a firewall by default, but if you go into the software center, which again I'll show you in a moment, you can just type in firewall and get yourself a free firewall. But anyway, moving on down the list, you can see I've set it up so there's nothing in here. You can filter things. I mean, again, this is a bad example for me, but here, if we pull up all results, like everything I have installed, and we can say Software Center. This is only things that the Software Center thinks that I might want or that I have gotten from the Software Center. Saying, okay, these are popular things from the Software Center. Or if you're looking for, say, games, click on games, and there they are. There are my installed games and gaming systems and things. So you can see I have Solitaire, Battle for West North, Minecraft, Steam, the usual. Or if you're looking for an internet browser, there is the default browser, which I do not like at all. That's just my personal opinion. It's really slow, and it's not for me. I mean, some people might like it. It's again just not my style. They do give you Firefox by default. You can get Chromium, which is pretty much Chrome, and I know that there are ways to go about it that you can get just Chrome. I'm not entirely sure of what that is, but you can also look purely at installed applications by looking at local apps. There's also a function that you can do while we're on Unity. If you go into the system settings, which you can get to by going to this power icon and going to system settings, or you can open Unity and type in system settings, and you'll see there it is. Or you can just type in system or settings or whichever you choose, and there it is. There's more system settings, and as you'll see, give it a moment. It will, yeah, here it is. It already has system settings open, so I believe it's trying to open a second window, which I don't really want at the moment, but it'll figure itself out and let me move on. So yeah, anyway, the thing that I brought you here for was while we're in Unity, um, you'll see that it says sources, and it'll say calculator, color rollers, bookmarks. It'll give you clip art, Picasso, Rhythmbox, Yelp, all these things. And it can give you millions more if you wish, because if you go to privacy and security and search, you can turn on search the web, include online search results when searching in the dash, which I'm not a fan of personally, because this means that everything you type, like if you typed in Minecraft, for example, not only is it giving you your files and folders, but if you allow it, it will also search open clip art, it will also search Facebook, it will also search a music store, it'll search recipes, it'll search weather, it'll search videos, it'll search everything for the term Minecraft, which right now it doesn't seem to be wanting to, but if I just typed in mine, as you can see, it's giving you more suggestions, and it'll give you information from Reddit, it'll give you from Songster, it'll give you from their forum, it'll give you from Grooveshark, it will give you weather, it will give you reference material, so like Wikipedia definitions, and it'll give you things like that, and it's just not for me. Like, I can see where it would be useful, but it's not, personally, I'm not a fan. So yeah, that's pretty much the Unity launcher, and it can be pretty confusing for new users, but after you've used it for a little bit, you'll start to understand it and get where you're coming from with all this. And you can easily close the filter results, and again, you can come up here and make this larger if you want the full screen aspect of your search, and then just click off of it, and it will go ahead and go away for you. So moving on down this list, we have the Files button, which is the pretty much it's the home button, the Files Manager for Ubuntu. And you'll notice one thing that a lot of like Windows users will notice right away is where's all of your menus. Where like you open up the window, your home Files folder, and you'll see that there's no File, Edit, Save, View, any of those menus that you're used to. That's because in Ubuntu they're all up top. This is something that you can change by going into System Settings, going into Appearance, under Behavior, and you can see it says Show the menus for a window in the menu bar, which is my personal preference, or you can do in the Windows title bar, which it will then show up down here as per usual for a Windows or I believe Mac machine. But I prefer it up top because otherwise this bar does not really do anything. And actually, before we go on, up here, this bar, you'll notice it doesn't do anything like at all, and you can't really customize it. You can go into your settings all you want, and all you can really do is change a few colors, which for some people is going to bug you, because like, I mean, that just changed everything to high contrast. And yeah, and you can also change your wallpaper from here, and other such things that I'll get into in a moment. But anyway, back to the Files Manager. You'll see it's just a very generic basic file manager. Nothing really big going on here. You'll see you can view your desktop, which I have nothing on it. I choose to keep it all in the dash. You have your documents folder here. You have downloads. You have public. You have like public things that are shared between users. You have like example files that they give you. They give you templates for something. I'm not entirely sure what the templates folder is for, or like the video menu. And this is the video I'm recording at the moment. So yeah, you'll see stuff like that. They actually, this is the, oh my god, the Nautilus, I believe, is what it's called. It's what they called the search engine for like Windows has the Windows Explorer. I believe this is Nautilus. I do like what they did here with the search. Now you can just click the little search icon and search either just home or all your files, which will literally search everything you have. And you can also change the this to a list if you so desired, or you can change it back to the icons, which I like. You can just from the side here, you can view your desktops, your documents, downloads, and so on and so forth. You know, the usual. You can check your trash. You can check your computer, um, which is always a nice thing to be able to do. You can browse your network. Um, you can connect to servers if you so wanted, and so on and so forth. This is basically the same as most interfaces for the for files in most operating systems, but actually in I believe late 2013, Nautilus was trying to implement some changes with the home menu and the files functionality of the entire system, and it did not go over well with. Sorry, I'm yawning. It's really early in the morning for me. It's like 7 a.m. and I woke up about 10 minutes ago. So, anyways, it's they were trying to implement some little changes, like they were trying to beautify this a little bit, and really all of it just did not go over well with the Ubuntu community or just the Linux community in general, and so they reverted back to what they had in version 12.0.4, which was the last LTS release. Now, what is an LTS release? An LTS release, which is what this is it's a long-term support release, which means it will be supported for, I believe, at least 5 years or until they make a new one. So until they release another LTS, this is the 12 point or 14.04 Trusty tar, which is what we're on right now, will still have support. And it came out about 6 months ago, so we still have a lot of support for this operating system. Now, you can change your desktop background quite easily. For those of you that it's a huge concern, you just right click. You can also add folders and documents like usual. You can organize your desktop, but you can also change your desktop background, which again brings you to the appearance menu. And you can click on any background you want. It does come with quite a few little backgrounds that are all really high quality, clean looking backgrounds. You can pick between any of these that you like, or once you download a photo, you can just click this little drop down menu and either select your wallpapers, you can select your pictures folder, or you can select colors and gradients, and so you can pick the various colors that you want your operating system to be. And as you can see there, it changed the color to exactly what it is on the screen, or if I wanted a bit more of a violent change, you could also change it to whatever you want. You can make it one solid color, you can do a horizontal gradient, or whatever you choose. I like the Trusty Tar wallpaper, so that is what I'm going to leave. But anyway, one other thing I should go over while I'm in the appearance menu is over here they did add a relatively new feature. I mean, I believe they had this in 13.10, but it's new and some of you guys may enjoy this. Over here you'll see you have the launcher icon size option, which lets you change the size of your dash icons from 64 pixels per icon all the way down to 16. So that gives you a lot of options as for how many icons you can have up. The default size is 48, which is my personal preference. I think it's just a nice kind of a big button layout. It's big enough that you feel like you can actually click on things, but not so big that it feels like it is overpowering your desktop. Now, continuing on down the dash, you'll see that we have the Firefox web browser as your default. I really enjoy this browser. It's a nice open source browser, and a lot of people prefer it over things such as or Microsoft Explorer, Windows Explorer, or no, it's Microsoft Internet Explorer, or some people even prefer it over Chrome. And you can, like I said earlier, you can get Chromium, which is practically Chrome, but the reason I don't use it is because every time I use it, it's always slower to start up than Firefox, like you're seeing now, like it's taking forever, and it also has all of these weird little side tabs that I didn't ask for that it opens anyway. So that's just my personal preference. I really am enjoying Firefox on the Ubuntu desktop. And it does come with an entire office, well, a semi-office suite. It comes with LibreOffice, which is Microsoft Office compatible. So if you have any Microsoft Office documents, you can still edit them within the LibreOffice editor. Um, if you want to look more in depth, you can go to your applications menu and filter by Office, and you'll see that we have LibreOffice, which is Libre is a full featured Office productivity suite that provides a near drop-in replacement for Microsoft. Continuing on over the side, you have Libre Calc, which is pretty much your Excel worksheets. You have Office Draw, which is, I'm not entirely sure what it's replacing. I never used the Microsoft equivalent of this program, but for those of you that want to draw out documents and spreadsheets, that's there for you. You have Impress, which is pretty much your presentation software. You can do that for like Windows presentation managers and things. You can also do LibreOffice Math, which lets you write out equations and solve equations, an equation editor component. So that's quite a nice program. You also get LibreOffice Writer, which is pretty much Microsoft Word. So for those of you that really is a big deal having an Office suite, it's there for you. And if at any time, moving on down the line, that you don't need, that you have accidentally deleted these and cannot find them, even once you search, if you search for them and they're still not here because you've accidentally deleted them or something of the sort, gotta get rid of all these more suggestions and things. I'm only looking for like applications. I don't care about Music Store and Google Drive and da. It's not why I'm typing it in. But say you typed in LibreOffice Writer and it wasn't here. Well, continuing on down the dash, you'll see you have the Ubuntu Software Center, which which is a very it's kind of a almost a messy looking software center compared to like the App Center for Apple OS, or the Microsoft Store, I believe it's called, for Windows now. But say you got LibreOffice, take it away. If you had LibreOffice like Writer. Wait, what? Yeah, you can simply come in here and it will show you all LibreOffice programs that, well, up to a point. After a while it starts to get a little off topic, but as you can see, if I had, say, not had LibreOffice anymore, if it had gotten deleted in any way, you can see I can come in here and I can install it from right here, or you can view more info and look at screenshots and photos of it and look at reviews. You can also get add-ons for it. In the download, it will show you things that users also installed at the same time. You can, as you can see, there are lots of reviews for most products. And one thing that is my favorite part about the Software Center is it's a very well categorized center. If you say you're coming on here and you just want an internet browser, you can come in here, and on the side here you'll see it says internet. So you click on internet and then click on web browsers and give it a moment because my internet is apparently having a hard time with this process. So let me try and reload this here. It does this every now and again. As you can see here, it shows you all of the internet browsers that you can get with Ubuntu software, which I think is a very nice. You can also remove programs. I'm going to remove Chromium because, as you saw, it had all of these. Hold on, let me put in my password here to remove the software. But as you saw, it was giving me a lot of trouble, and I would rather just not even have it as an option, so I don't click on it and mess with it. So yeah, as you can see, it's a little bit slow, but it's applying changes, and now it is gone. So there it is. Now if we go back to software and go back to internet and look at it again, it will ask me to install it because it's been uninstalled and whatever. And for those of you that are wanting to uninstall any program, you can click on, in the software center, the installed button, and it categorizes all of your things, all of your programs, so that if you want to install anything on here, you can come into here looking through it and say you wanted mines removed. You can come in here and remove mines. Or if you wanted to get rid of the online accounts, Unity Control Center thing, you can get rid of it. Or whatever you want. I mean, some of it comes as uncategorized, which is fine, I suppose, but if you wanted any of this gone, you can come in here and remove it, which I think is pretty sweet, and it also will show you a history of installations, updates, removals, all of that stuff. So moving on down the line, you have your system setting button, which we've gone into the system settings from here before. We've also gone into it from over at the Unity bar. So if you open up your system settings, which apparently can't be full screen, you'll see you have your general appearance, brightness, support, text entry, your general. It's a pretty easy to navigate system as far as the system settings, which is pretty much your control panel or options. Um, one thing that's not in here that a lot of people might want is a firewall configuration. So if you go into your what's happening? Okay, well, you'll see that now we have let me see if I can make it small enough so that everyone can see it, because that is a huge, huge firewall. You'll see that now I have a firewall open, and you can turn it off if you so chose, which I don't know why you would, but it's an option if you want it to turn it off. I guess it's not letting me turn it off. I'm not entirely sure why, but like, it's, if for those of you, it doesn't come with a firewall, so you see it had a little bit of a delay problem there, but overall really nothing too big happened. So for those of you that want a firewall, and those of you that dig around it, will notice you don't have a firewall pre-installed on Ubuntu. If you just type in firewall in the software center, you'll see that there are multiple firewalls for use, and I chose the firewall configuration simply because of its high rating by lots and lots of people. So you can see screenshots of it here, which you can then enlarge and look at closer. You can so you can see your firewall options, and it'll give you a quick description, give you a link to their site, the developer's site, and apparently, there are a couple negative reviews on here, but there are also lots of good reviews, and whatever, that's not why I'm here. Anyway, you can get firewall if you feel you need a firewall. And this last icon here on the upper part is my screen recorder, which you can get at, I'll put a link in the description. I don't know the website off the cuff, but there is a sort of complicated process for adding simple screen recorder to your desktop. It does involve opening the terminal, which you'll see here, and you do have to punch in a few lines of code and accept a couple things. But once you do that, it'll install it really quick, and then you'll get a super easy, very nice, simple screen recorder. So I'll put a link to their main site in the description. And then down here finally at the bottom is the trash, which is the recycle bin. And one thing that may mess a lot of people up is if I made a file here, if I made just an empty document and you wanted to get rid of it, you might be thinking recycle bin. It might be towards the bottom, but no, it gives you move to trash, which you might think would be under move to, but the rewording of this did mess me up a little bit at the beginning. It might not mess up everybody. That was just me, so I figured I would run over it. It'll always give you a notification. Are you sure you want to delete everything from the trash? Simply click yes and it'll delete whatever you have. So anyway, moving on, if we want to get the simple screen recorder that I had, you just simply Google simple screen recorder, and here you go, the main page. You'll see it's not a very stunning web page, but this is the simple screen recorder website. You simply scroll down a little bit, it'll show you the features, and it gives you a little test video, and you add each line of this into your terminal separately. So you'd say copy this line, and then go over to your terminal and slap it in here, and then press enter, and you'll see it asks for your password. Oh god. And I already have the recorder, so I'm not going to go through, but press enter to continue or control C to cancel. So I'm going to cancel it because I already have it and I don't need it. But anyway, yeah, this is a simple screen recorder, so if you want to do like what I'm doing, you can get this, or as you can see, they have a little demo video here of them with the open. Yeah, as he said, it's just a little demo, but he has the OpenGL function on. So as you can see, he's playing Portal with a simple screen recorder, and he's not moving a whole lot, which is a little bit of a bummer. But yeah, as you can see, it will record like just your game, or you can just simply make your game full screen, or whatever you choose to do. So yeah, I'll put a link to that in the description, and I would say personally, overall, I would use this more than Windows, simply because it's very easy to use. It doesn't crash as often. You can see even when my computer did lag out. If we open like 6 or 7 different programs here at the same time, you'll see all of them are very quick and snappy to open. So you can just go through and close all of them, and none of them really have a problem opening and closing. So that is a bonus. And I do like that Firefox is the default web browser. It's a very nice, secure browser. And so anyway, that has been just in my general opinion, I would almost use this more than Windows. One thing you'll notice coming from a Windows environment, though, is that Windows does have a lot more support. And what do you do with that? Like, Windows can support all of my programs, all of my games and things, all of my stuff. So what do you do to combat that? There is a program you can get that is called Wine. It's called Wine Tricks in the Software Center. So if you open up the Software Center, it's a little bit of a slow Software Center compared to some of the other ones, but if you type in Wine Tricks, sure enough, it will give you the Microsoft compatibility layer called Wine Tricks that you can then install and add to your system or whatever. But see, this is a .exe file, which is generically a Windows file, an exe, an executable file. That is a Windows file. Everybody knows this. But if you right-click it and click on Open with Windows Program Loader, as you can see, right, and Wine kind of auto-configures the first time you run it. But as you can see, it takes a moment. But here you go. You can open it up and say you want to play some Legend of Zelda. Well, here's the Legend of Zelda playing for you, and it's a .exe file. Now I do have Minecraft.exe, which I cannot use because it requires a deeper version of Java, like a more updated. See, it requires a runtime environment of 1.6, and I believe Linux has an environment of like 0.94. I don't know exactly. I'm just making up numbers. I really have no idea. But yeah, I believe it's slightly outdated compared to theirs. But as you saw when I was looking through my programs, you still can get Minecraft. It is still you can still play this game if you so want it. You do just have to go into the terminal and punch in some code. So if you really want it, just Google it. Just look up Minecraft Linux Ubuntu, and there's a website that will show you how to get this through the terminal. And again, you just copy and paste one line at a time. But yeah, so anyway, my overall opinion of Ubuntu is that I almost prefer this over Windows, except for the lack of support for a lot of programs. But as you can tell by like the Winetricks launcher that I have, they are making strides to try and bridge that gap. And also, you can get Steam, and if you those of you that use Steam a lot, you'll notice that if you look for Linux games, it's a Steam OS plus Linux, and that's because my understanding is Linux is partnering with Steam, or the other way around, to try and make a Steam operating system for computers and things. So that could be an interesting leap forward. And I know that also when the Malaysia flight had crashed, what was it, 3 or 4 months ago now, but when that had crashed, the lead submarine, the unmanned submarine drone that they had, I believe it was called a Blue 21 or Ocean Blue 21, something like that. It was a Linux powered machine that had, nobody really knows, but they had some speculation on what exactly was in it. And I just thought it was kind of cool that it could be this exact same operating system that was running a drone. But yeah, my overall opinion is in certain aspects, I like this more than Windows, but I will miss the compatibility that Windows has with almost every single program. Anyone that uses Windows a lot will know you can really run any program that you see on the internet on this, whether it's a Linux file or a Mac file. Windows has so much support for everything. Generally, if it's on Mac or if it's on Linux, it came to Windows first because everyone knows that Windows is the powerhouse of the three systems as far as compatibility goes. But yeah, anyway, this was just my personal opinion. Go ahead and leave a comment, like and subscribe if you wish. And if you have any questions, I will leave a link to the Ubuntu forums below. So have a good one, and I look forward to doing some more Linux reviews and some more gaming on Linux. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video.